Hey good people, and welcome back to the channel. It's a nice Easter Sunday morning, and in a few moments, I'll be more than happy to share my thoughts with you on who I believe is the worst cast member in Ready to Love history, Sabrina. But before we get into that, if you're new to my channel and you want to help out my platform, then feel free to hit that subscribe button. I appreciate and value all the support that comes my way, and I also enjoy supporting other platforms. Now, I know many of you out there who've seen my more recent reviews of Ready to Love already know how I feel about the season. If you haven't seen my videos, then just know, I thought the season started off very promising, but it went south pretty quickly, and we have 2 more self-eliminations to add to this season's resume. But this last episode just further cemented this season of Ready to Love as being the worst in the show's history. And in my opinion, Sabrina from this season has a lot to do with why this season failed. Right off the bat, when we first saw Sabrina on the show, she introduces herself and she whips out a list of roughly 40 criteria that a man needs to meet in order for her to consider him worthy of her attention. Sounds pretty crazy if you ask me. And right off the bat, I question whether or not she would actually make it to the end of the show. But throughout the season, we see Sabrina making moves, cutting deals, and working her magic in order to stay on the show. And I don't blame her for doing what she had to do to secure the bag, but the way she moved throughout the show directly impacted 4 of the men who were there to truly find love. And it is my opinion that at least 3 of the guys should be allowed to take Sabrina on Judge Mathis and sue her for emotional distress as well as pain and suffering. I know that might sound a little crazy, but I can promise you that the longer I talk, the more sense it's all gonna make. So buckle up and let's unload for a second. Several weeks ago, Laverne got eliminated from the show, which I had a feeling would eventually happen. After all, any guy who holds the record for asking women to grab his hind parts on a reality TV show will likely not make it to the end of said show. But when he met with Sabrina to receive the news that he got eliminated, he then accused Sabrina as well as other women of conspiring to vote him off so that their connections could be secured. And one of the issues that we had from last season of the show was the accusation that several cast members were treating the show like a dating version of Survivor, which in my opinion takes all of the fun and excitement away from whatever story the show wants us to see. And because of that, Laverne was robbed of his time to get a deeper connection with Ace, which also means that Laverne has a strong case for Sabrina on Judge Mathis so that he can be made whole again. Tori's story is yet another cautionary tale. Tori started out the gate strong with Sabrina, but unbeknownst to him, Sabrina's sights were set on Demetrius. Tori felt that his connection with Sabrina was pretty strong until Sabrina opted to kiss Demetrius during the game of Truth or Dare. Tori then met with Sabrina because he wanted a straight answer on how she planned to move forward, but Sabrina ran game and made Tori think that he still had a chance with her. As a result, Tori missed out on his time with other women who he could have made a stronger connection with, and Sabrina waited until the retreat to finally let Tori know that she wasn't feeling him. That's pretty cold-blooded if you ask me, but in my opinion, Tori should take Sabrina on Judge Mathis because he was done wrong by her. Then we have Donovan. I'll give respect to where respect is due. Donovan made his connection with Sabrina, but he had the wherewithal to see how Sabrina moved with Tori as well as Demetrius, and before Sabrina could run game on him, he ended their connection, which prompted Sabrina to get in her feelings, and in a sense, one could argue that Donovan did what Tori should have done after the game of Truth and Dare. But because Donovan got out in time, I don't think Sabrina had the opportunity to bring her negativity into his life. Lastly, we have Demetrius. And I think it's safe to say that most fans on the show thought that Sabrina and Demetrius were a shoo-in to make it to the finale. But Sabrina went into self-sabotage mode and immediately went to her list of criteria when determining whether or not Demetrius was right for her. And what was the issue that determined the fate of their connection? It was their stance on whether or not Sabrina would keep her last name or take Demetrius' last name if marriage was ever on the table. And I watched this entire interaction on the topic unfold. And in watching this, all I could do was shake my head, mainly because Sabrina is a very intelligent woman. In my opinion, she had to have known that she wouldn't have dated any of these guys seriously outside of the show. But she still went through the process and wasted everybody's time. With Demetrius, she made him think that he was her top connection, only to self-eliminate on Friday's episode. And all because Demetrius wouldn't get on her program. But Demetrius has a strong case to take her to Judge Mathis and get that money. You know, I admire any woman who desires to be chased and wants to be the center of attention. But Sabrina should have never been casted for this show. And I truly believe that any guy who's watched the show and who sees Sabrina in public will avoid her at all costs. But this concludes my thoughts on Sabrina from Ready to Love Potomac, and I would definitely like to hear your thoughts as well. Feel free to leave your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll be sure to reply to each and every comment. Until next time, stay tuned and stay safe. Peace.